Said that Vin Scully, the longtime broadcaster for the Dodgers, passed away today at the age of 94. And you don't have to be from the LA area to appreciate what that man did for not just baseball, but for all of the sports that he announced. And I know, Mike, that touches your heart.
Whew. I loved him. He taught me baseball.
Wow. Yeah, it was tough to hear. And you're hearing clips also from the Dodger broadcast.
Yeah.
He taught me baseball was
Right.
probably the best way anyone could describe Vin
Well,
Scully.
I love what Kruko said during the game, too. He said his goal was to obviously be a major league. He wanted to have Vin talk about him. And
That's
he did
crazy.
when he became a baseball player. And he said back when Kruko was starting, you could still, a lot of people brought radios to the games and you could hear the radios. Like Kruko was warming up, he said, and he could hear some of the radios just enough coming back from commercial. And he heard Vin and he was like, this was my goal. Like, I'm on the mound and Vin Scully is waxing poetic about me.
Yep.
And whatever, four-seam fastball and whatever he would say in Vin's tone, like that was his goal. And that's, I mean, how surreal for the Kruko like that. And that's awesome.
Imagine being a professional athlete, or imagine being a broadcaster. That is so awesome. That is so legendary that you know that you would have. I'll bet you anything if we asked Mike Kruko, Kruk's mom or dad or brother or somebody at some point in his life, in his career, was sent a clip of Vin Scully talking about him.
Of course.
And it's just unmatched.
Yeah.
The connections between the Giants and Vin Scully go deep, going all the way back to New York when Scully was a Giants fan. His favorite player, as we mentioned earlier, was Willie Mays, and of course, you have the rivalry and everything throughout the years, all the brawls, all the home runs, all the walk-offs. Just the whole story of one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports. And Vin Scully was the narrator of pretty much all of that. But it wasn't always the play-by-play. As we check out in this next clip involving a San Francisco Giant, it was sometimes, as we spoke earlier, Vin doing his research, which I have no idea where he got some of these anecdotes, including this one, and during the game, able to give you a little background on a player like Bumgarner right here.
You know, Bumgarner tells a story which, in a sense, reminds you of what it takes to be a big league ball player. It's 2 years ago in spring training, and he and his wife were roping cattle, which is what they do. 1-1 pitch, sinker low, ball 2-1, and they were startled by a large snake. And Madison thought it was a rattlesnake, so he grabbed an axe and he hacked the snake to pieces. But there's something more to the story. 2-1 pitch. Low, ball 3-1. When his wife Allie and an expert field dresser examined what was left of the snake, she found 2 baby jackrabbits inside pieces of the snake and extracted them. 3-1 pitch to Turner, way inside, ball 4.
3-1.
And after she extracted them, a short while later, the Bumgarners noticed that one of the rabbits had moved slightly. It was alive. Well, his wife brought the rabbit back to their apartment. For the next few days, they kept it warm, bottle nursed it, and the rabbit soon was healthy enough that they released it into the wild. And Madison said, just think about how tough that rabbit was. First, it gets eaten by a snake. Then the snake gets chopped to pieces. Then it gets picked up by people and lives. It's all true. Meanwhile, line drive base hit to center by Hendrick, and the Dodgers are in business, first and second, and nobody out. So I guess really the morale to the whole story about the rabbit and the snake, you've got to somehow survive. You've got to somehow battle back. A lesson well taught for all of us.
Just the way you're talking about a pitcher hacking open a snake, finding a baby rabbit, 2, one dead, one not. They nurse the baby back to health. And just the little guys, it's the nuggets in there that his wife was an expert field
Of
dresser.
course she was, and he found that out.
And of course he found that out and was able to weave this whole thing amongst pitches, base hits. We missed none of the game, but it's like we're sitting on a couch with our, I guess then grandpa, watching the game while he's telling us stories.
And they're not boring. I don't even know how else to describe that. Like, that's, at times you're like, wait, I want more of the story. Wait, I want more of the baseball game. Wait, I'm getting both. Wait, he's doing it perfectly. I'm not going to tell him how I'm feeling, because I'm going down each lane in a comfortable way. He's just taking us through. And Dave, I mean, obviously we played some football and he was really good at football. I just think baseball and him were perfect partner, because the nature of the sport and the way he could deliver that, all those different things while describing the game, he was perfection.
I agree with you. I think I'm sure he could have done it. In fact, I'm sure he probably did. But, Vin Scully doing basketball, Vin Scully doing hockey, like I said, I obviously could do those fine. But it's almost like a waste of Vin Scully's talents. Football, great, wonderful, super. And he was great at it. But you're right. The thing about baseball is that it's a different play-by-play call, especially on the radio, than any other sport. There are pauses. There is very little action. I think, what did we read one time? In your average 3.5-hour game, there's 7 minutes of actual ball on the field. So you have to, unlike football, where, okay, play 45 seconds, play 45 seconds, play 45 second, break. You have to be able to keep people enthralled, entertained, and really not in a, you can entertain people with, comedy or drama,
right?
No, he would just sit back, relax, invite you to pour a glass of Bartles and James chilled on the porch.
That's exactly what he invited you.
100%, and just listen to him. And there's other fantastic announcers, and we're going to mourn other announcers when they pass, some of the all-time greats. But with Vin, it was something where you listen to him and you go, oh, you know what? It's not complicated what he's doing, but the difference between understanding what Vin Scully did and being able to replicate what Vin Scully did, no chance.
Yeah, made it look easy, sounded easy for us, easy listen, right? He's an easy listen. And I was thinking about that. I heard Vin a lot more when I was younger. Hadn't heard him as much in the last, I don't know, when did he officially stop, Jay?
2016.
So let's say, Dave, from, I don't know, 2003 to 2016, obviously he's older, much older then. And I don't know, I hadn't heard stories of Vin, like, when people get older, a lot of times you're repeating stories, or like, and if Vin even did, I'm sure he told it in such a way that, like, oh, I've heard that one before. This is great. Let's hear this one again. I don't think he did that a lot. I think he always had new material, always could describe a game or a player in a different way, and just amazing.
Well, in the meantime, there was baseball yesterday. We talked to you a little bit about the Juan Soto move. He goes to the Padres. The Padres will at some point this year have Tatis, Soto, and Manny Machado in there as their middle of their lineup. Not to mention they've got other guys in that lineup that can do things. Their bully, their rotation. This is a team that now should be able to, provided they're healthy, stay on the field and go after any team out there. And for a Giants fan, you look at the Dodgers to your left and the Padres to your right, or more appropriately, you look up at the Padres and the Dodgers. And they really, Darren Ruff was traded yesterday.
Okay.
Some minor moves, but they still have Jock Peterson. They still have Carlos Rodon. The only thing with Rodon I could think, guys, is that they're fully planning on re-signing him and making him a piece of the future. I would have liked to have seen them sold a little more.
Yeah, I mean, now it's okay. We've seen the year before last year, this year. I don't know if everything just lined up beautifully, because there was tough to tell the difference between the Giants and the Dodgers last year. It's not tough anymore. No. And with the Padres getting better, I mean, how do the Giants catch up? I mean, I just don't know, and I think they should have been more aggressive yesterday in moving some of those pieces.
We will take a break. When we come back, I'm really looking forward to this segment. Sandy Koufax pitched a perfect game. Vin Scully called all 4 of Koufax's no-hitters. This was, by all accounts, the coolest one, obviously. And we have the final inning for you as well, and still to come. Bill Buckner's error, Don Larson's perfect game, Kurt Gibson's home run, Vin Scully racing Jackie Robinson on ice skates. There's just so much more. We've got a ton of audio to come. We'll be right back after this.